What's up, guys? It's Bama Breezy coming at you live. I am your host, Stacy Bama Burr, and this is the Champion Mindset Podcast. What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in to the first episode on the Champion Mindset Podcast. And when I was thinking about what I was going to do to introduce what is the Champion Mindset, what does it mean to me? I thought there was no better way than just to introduce myself and just tell you guys a little bit more about me based on who I am now versus the person that I had to be in order to get there. And that's really, honestly, where the Champion Mindset was born. The Champion Mindset was born through the journey of my life and the journey that it took me to become the best powerlifter in the world. And so I'll take you through my trip and take you through my journey and really honestly tell you what the Champion Mindset is and what it means to me and why I want to share it with as many people as I possibly can. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoy the ride. So just taking a glance at me and my competitive history, I currently am a 4-time all-time world record-holding powerlifter. My best competition lifts are as follows: 565 squat, 320 bench press, and a 550-pound deadlift at a body weight of 147. So my best all-time total was 1435 at 148 body weight, which gave me, at the time of competition, the highest Wilks of all time in powerlifting across male and female boundaries borders. Best in the world. That is when I became the best in the world, and that is my self-titled accomplishment. That was my long-term goal, was to become the best powerlifter in the world by any way, means, shape, or form, and I did it. I am the current owner and operator and head coach over at Bama Brick Squad Training and Nutrition. I have 4 or 5 other affiliate coaches who I work alongside, and we together provide training plans for all level, different kinds of athletes, bodybuilding, powerlifting, just hypertrophy, general wellness, all kinds of people just coming together to help everybody build one another. And we have that team environment. If you're interested in being part of the team and working with any of my affiliate coaches, feel free to reach out over at bbstraininginfo@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. In order to spread the champion mindset mentality even further, I'm currently serving as a motivational speaker and personal development specialist and booking events and seminars all across the U.S. and even spreading out into, the international world as well. So if you're interested in booking an event or hosting us to come through and set up a deadlift party or anything like that, feel free to reach out over at bbstraininginfo@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. All right, so here it is. I'm 27. I was born in rural South Carolina. I always knew I was a little bit different. I came out, I was just your typical overweight fat kid, right? I was your typical overweight, a little bit weird fat kid. I got picked on. It's nothing new. It's just one of those typical stories. Grandma says you're not fat, you're just big boned, have another strawberry shortcake, and you keep on eating. That was kind of how I grew up. And I didn't have... My meals weren't cooked for me. I didn't have the big family gathering. I never learned how to really cook. I ate frozen pizzas, heated them up, and that was my general nutrition. That was my diet plan. I just didn't know any different, right? But I didn't know that how I grew up. I didn't know I was poor until I went other places. I had no idea, because I never went without. And then I go other places and I'm like, wow, so this is normal like this. I never knew that I went without. I never knew that I was poor, because to me, being poor, people just didn't have, right? So my standards were different. I just didn't know exactly the perspective of most people, because all I knew was what I knew. And I knew that I had a family that loved me and I was taken care of. I had clothes on my back. I had food to eat, whether it was frozen pizza or not. I didn't go without, so I didn't think I was poor. But then as I get older, it's you grow out of this and you get to see that there's a whole big world out there. I never thought I'd ever be able to travel, and here I am. I go back to back to back places every single weekend, and to me, it's just insane. It's insane when I sit here and think about it, because at one point in my life, I knew I'd never get on an airplane. That was terrifying to me. And people like me didn't get on airplanes. My dad is still to this day never been on an airplane, but I'm trying to convince him to go out to Vegas and go see my boys over at Strong House with me in November. But we'll see if that works. Billy Burr might be coming to Vegas, guys, so stay tuned. But just honestly, things like this just blow my mind. They blow my mind because I remember the first time I ever went to a national competition, powerlifting. I remember telling my family, telling my dad and my grandma, guys, this is once in a lifetime opportunity for me, so I'm going to take it. And I didn't have enough money to go. I ended up, I found a way. I rolled up change. I figured out how to get over there. I was currently working a grunt job. It was after I graduated from college, which I was the first person in my family to graduate from college. I never was the best. I never was the smartest, but I worked really hard. I worked very, very hard, very diligent, because I've always had to work hard. Things never came naturally to me. Things never came easy for me. It's always been just a little bit harder. I'm the youngest. I have an older sister, and growing up, she was always the smarter one. She was always the more athletic one. And for me, I just didn't have any kind of confidence because I saw how good she was at everything, and it made me feel inferior. So although I wasn't dumb, I also wasn't as intelligent as her, and I also wasn't as funny as her. I wasn't as athletic as her. It was death by comparison, right? I didn't have any confidence in myself because I just saw how good she was. But that's also being amidst that is what helped me realize where I am today, that just because someone else is shining, it doesn't mean that you can't, And so things like this that I can look at now and understand why I am the way I am, it makes me so much happier because this is how the champion mindset was born within me. So when I was growing up, I never had the confidence. Everybody called me by Shannon's little sister. They never called me by Stacy. They never called me by my own name. I didn't have an identity. I was just someone that was associated to someone else. And for me, that's always been something that's been very, very important to me. I always wanted to make a name for myself. I always wanted to be somebody. I wanted to be something special. I didn't know how to. I didn't know how I was going to do it because the fact of the matter was I wasn't anything special. I wasn't anything special at all. I didn't come from anything special. But I knew that there was something in me that was just different. I always wanted to be the best. I always wanted to be better. I always wanted more. And so whatever it was, I just wanted to push it to the limit every single time. When I decided I was going to do something, it was already done, no matter what it was. I learned the value of working hard through working hard. I learned how important it was to apply effort every single day through growing up in the country, through not having a lot, through having to be involved and do physical labor every single day. You do physical labor, you do these things little by little, chipping away, just applying that effort every single day. And when it's hot, whenever, the conditions are bad, you have to continually show up and do the work. And that is where I was built into this discipline, this sense of regiment, just doing things every single day, no matter if you see a difference. If you have to clear out, a plot of land, you're not going to see any changes overnight. You're not going to see any changes within 2-3 days. You're going to see the changes weekly, monthly. You're going to see the changes just over time, but all you have to do is trust the work. And that's where that was built inside of me, that just if you apply the effort, if you're doing the work, you can trust it as long as you are doing what you need to do. And that was me. That was me, and I understood that there was nothing outside of my power if I would apply the effort and I would apply the work. My family does not have any idea what it is that I do exactly. All my money's made pretty much online. They don't understand how I travel so much because to them, something like this is outlandish. My family comes from, my dad is a welder. My grandma was a nurse. Things like that. My grandpa graduated the 4th grade and that was it. Things like this, that is the type of family that I came from. I'm not very good with technology. I have to, enlist the help of such good friends that take such good care of me because all this stuff is still overwhelming to me. It's still overwhelming to me, the fact that I get on an airplane almost every single week to go somewhere. Whenever I was younger, I had no idea that I'd ever be on an airplane. To this day, I still get anxiety about being on a plane and going through TSA because it's just still so foreign to me that I'm doing something like this. That I'm doing something so outlandish that younger me would have had no idea I was capable of. But I did. Because I understood then that if I was to apply the effort and do the work, I would get the result. So am I surprised now that here I am talking in a podcast about myself. No, I'm not. But it's still just so mind-blowing to me that I'm experiencing this journey every single day, and that I'm able to help every listener, every viewer, everyone that's tuning in. I'm able to help you guys through my journey of self-discovery, through my journey of becoming my version of being the best in the world. I battle my problems, I battle my issues, and I'm able to live and fight another day and serve as motivation to you guys who don't quite believe yet, who haven't quite bought into the can and will movement, who don't understand just how capable you are. I'm here to tell you, and I'm here to remind you that you are, because I was too. I had all the excuses. I had all the limitations. I had all the things going against me. I had every reason not to make it. Every reason not to make it. Growing up, I had the wrong environment. When I tried to convince my family, that I was going to quit my full-time job and I was going to become a professional powerlifter, they said, Stacy, don't do it. You got to have insurance. Don't do it. You can't do that. You cannot do that. I did it anyway. All these things that you have no idea how you're going to do, sometimes you just have to go and you have to make it happen and figure it out as you go along. We want to think that everybody has it always figured out all the time, right? Everybody that you see, and you see them online, you see their highlight reel, you think they have everything figured out. But the thing is, all of us are just trying to figure this out one day at a time. And that's what I'm here for you guys for, is to share this with you, to share this journey. Because I'm not trying to tell you I have it all figured out. I'm trying to tell you that I'm figuring it out and that I trust that. I'm going to say it again. I'm figuring it out, and I'm figuring it out one day at a time, and I trust the work that I'm applying, because one day we're going to make the world a better, stronger place. And that I don't doubt at all. And it's through this movement, it's through this journey, together we're going to be able to do it. I had all the excuses. I've had all the injuries. I broke my back. In 2014, right after I decided to quit my job and pursue becoming the best powerlifter in the world, to pursue making a name for myself. That was what I wanted to do. I loved training. I was good at it. That's where I found my confidence. I became, from this fat kid that didn't have the best situation scenarios growing up, home life. I went from that to going into the gym where my dad bartered for me a membership. Basically, he'd do some work and I'd get a free gym membership out of it, because why not, It was one of those local deals. Bartering for a local gym membership. That is where I began. That's where I found my confidence. I found my confidence in every single rep that I was able to do that I couldn't previously do, because I applied the effort. And I put in the work. And when you put in the work, the results come, no matter what it is. Take that situation and scenario and apply it to your life in every single aspect. If it's your job, if it's your relationship, if it's something that you want, if you just apply the effort and do the work, you will get the result. It will not be easy. It will be very hard. There are going to be unforeseen things that are going to happen left, right, up, down, sideways. Sounded like a Grand Theft Auto cheat code. But that's what's going to happen. You have to be able to react. You have to be able to respond. So with all this being said, I was poor. I came from a place where I wasn't wanted. I wasn't appreciated. I didn't have the best home life. I didn't have all the money in the world. I didn't have the access to the top level, top notch, trainers, gym equipment, anything like that. All I had was a working heart, working hands, and a working mind. I just did that, and I applied the effort. I was the first one to graduate in my family with a college degree. I was the first one in my family to play college athletics. I was the first one to do a lot of things. And I continue to see that I was the first one to do all these things. I was the first one. So then I remembered whenever I'd feel different. When I feel different in situations, scenarios, and people wouldn't appreciate my energy, or like I was just laughed at, if I just didn't fit the mold for something. Because I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little bit different from most normal females, especially most normal females in the fitness industry. But here I am, like it or not. But I realized that just because I was different didn't mean I was wrong. It didn't mean that there was anything wrong with me, because I was the first to do so many different things in my family, in my life, in my career. It's not that I'm different and it's a bad thing. It's I'm different and it's a good thing. I'm exceptional. I'm not crazy. I'm exceptional. I am extraordinary. I am different. I am strong, and I am capable, and I will be the first to do many things in my career, and I will make the world a better, stronger place, because I know I can. I am, and I will. One thing about growing up in the South is you have a deep respect for your family, right? My late grandpa was my biggest influence and biggest inspiration in life. And before he passed away, it was after my first powerlifting competition. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what kind of records or things of the such. Like, I had no idea any kind of relevance to what these things mean. But my grandpa, before he passed away, I competed at my first meet, and I totaled 8:10 at 148, and a couple people said, "Oh, that's not too bad, not bad for your first meet." I had no idea what I was doing, and someone told me that this total that I achieved was 10 pounds off a world record. I had no idea he meant a federation junior world record, so it was a highly specific, quote-unquote, world record, but nonetheless, I told my grandpa I was 10 pounds off a world record. So, Grandpa, I'm 10 pounds off a world record. Can you believe it? He looked at me and he said, "Of course I can believe it. You're the strongest woman in the world." And it just hit me. And I just never let it go. He told me I was the strongest woman in the world, and he had no idea that I actually was. I had no idea that I actually was. And I had no idea in what kind of complexity that statement would make in my life. I am the strongest woman in the world. I am the best in the world. And that's where it all started. Someone planted the seed, my late grandpa planted the seed in my mind, that for the first time, someone told me I was the best. Someone told me that I was the strongest woman in the world. And I believed it. I bought into it. I bought into the idea, and it opened up my mind that I could be. Who was to tell me that I was not? All I had to do was put forth the work. All I had to do was apply the effort, and I was. I could be. And that's why I am. Someone told me that I was the best in the world, and I believed it. So here I am. And this is what the Champion Mindset podcast is about. It's about someone else telling you that you have the capacity, you have the capability, and you have the power to become anything you dream to be. Whether it's if you want a podcast, make it. If you want to be an artist, start drawing. If you want to write a book, write it. If you want to be a singer, start singing. If you want to do anything, find the information, look it up, do the research, do your job, and put forth the effort, and you'll have it. You can have, you can be, you can do anything that you dream of. Anything in this world is in the realm of possibility if you're willing to work for it. And that's what I want people to know, and that's what the Champion Mindset is. That's what the Champion Mindset is to me, and that's how I became the best in the world. It's through the Champion Mindset. It's through buying in to believing that you can. It's to buying in to that positivity and those affirmations, setting goals, achieving them, and smashing new ones and going on about your day. It's winning every single day. It's making things happen. And this is me. This is Bama Burr, and this is the Champion Mindset Podcast. Thank you for listening.